So if you have, do you have your cushions handy so that you can make yourself nice and comfortable in the chair? This chair is so big for me that if I'm just sitting on it, my legs are swinging. So I'm going to use a cushion behind the back to help me sit upright. And I'm going to put the 2 cushions on the floor to give me a little bit of a height increase so that the knees are in line with the hips. So if you need to do the same thing, make yourself nice and comfortable. Get the bum to the back of the chair. Bringing the shoulders back and down. Resting the palms of the hands on the lap. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just letting go of all of that effort of technology. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. And bring the hands together, rub the hands together. Just feel the sensation of the skin, the shape of the fingers, the heat of the hands. And then if you have an oil and you want to use an oil, if you want to take one to rub it on the palm of your hand, just take a drop. If you don't worry about it, but an oil or even a hand cream that can help just soften the skin of the hands and give a nice smell of the hands. So you can see you've just headed off to grab the oil, so that's all right. Perfect. So just a drop on the palm of your hands, warming it up, starting to smell the smell from the hands, from the oils, and then just cupping it over the nose and mouth. Nice big deep inhale in, and then take the hands down and just breathing out through the nose if you can, and just a little gentle sigh out of the mouth. And then again, bring the hands up, nice big deep breath, and then just feel the shoulders melting down as you breathe out. Closing over the eyes or just have a gentle gaze in front of the nose. Be aware of how you're sitting in the chair. So the crown of the head is extending upwards. So you're imagining the upper half of the body is light. It's light and floating upwards. And that almost sort of helps you to sit up nice and tall, sliding those shoulder blades down the back. And then the lower half of the body is nice and grounded. So you can feel your feet on the floor. You can feel the sitting bones in the chair. And check that the feet are in line with each other. Then as you breathe in, bring the hands onto the belly. Wherever's comfortable. If you want to put the hands on the belly, one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly, both hands on the upper chest or on the ribs, anywhere on the torso. And it's a nice way to just connect into the breath, into the body itself. So as you breathe in, feel the hands rise. And as you breathe out, just gently letting the torso reduce down in size. And then at the last minute, you engage the tummy muscles to push all of the air back out. Now breathing in through the nose, let the belly expand. And then gently letting the breath out again. You might hear the breath at the back of your throat. Just being aware of the breath coming into the body, letting the torso expand, and then breathing out, it shrinks back down in size again. Rest the palms of the hands back down into the lap. We do a little body scan, so noticing how your scalp and all the nerve endings in your scalp are feeling. Noticing how the muscles around the eyes are feeling. Sometimes when we're very busy, or if you've just been trying to connect with technology and it's bothering you, the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows can be a bit twitchy, or you can have a furrowed brow. Can you soften that if it feels in any way kind of tight? And the muscles around the eyes, just softening the muscles around the eyes. Think of it as smiling with your eyes closed. Immediately your eyebrows lift up and you're turning up the corners of the eyes. Smiling with your eyes. And into the jaw. Are your teeth clenched at the back, or is the tongue rigid in the mouth? Can you soften the tongue in the mouth and just bring the teeth slightly apart? Do you notice your swallow? How does your swallow feel? Are you thirsty? Do you notice that you need a drink? If at any stage you need to drink, have a sip. Always have some water nearby. And coming down into the throat and into the chest. How are they feeling? With all the news, you can feel sometimes if you get stressed with the news, you can get swelling around the glands. That's because the stress response in the body, so your glands can swell up. So if you notice that they're starting to swell up, just notice whether or not it's related to stress. If you can drink some water or maybe have some vitamin C, help boost the immune system and vitamin D. And then coming down to the chest. Are you only breathing in the upper chest, or are you able to breathe right down into the tummy? So one hand on the upper chest, one hand on the tummy, and just gently being aware of where's the breath moving in the body. Or is it moving in the body? Just the awareness is without judgment. It's just taking a couple of minutes to notice where the effort is today. And then bringing the palms of the hands down onto the upper thighs, noticing how the legs are feeling, the backs of the legs, the glutes, the hamstrings, the knees, all the way down into the feet. And wiggle the toes. And then wiggle your fingers. You might feel a few little clicks and cricks. And I want you to alternate paddling your hands. So you can open the eyes if they're not already open, and just pressing one hand forward and one hand back towards the body and alternating that. So one hand goes in one direction, one hand in the other. And then do jazz hands. Da, da, da. And then do nice little circles, the wrists, and then the opposite direction. And then jazz hands again. And then we're going to do our feet. So if you can lift both feet, if you want to keep one foot down on the ground at a time and just do one foot at a time, that's fine. Otherwise, bringing up the 2 feet, and you're going to alternate pressing and pulling your feet. So as if you're pressing the feet on pedals. So left pedal, right pedal, left pedal, right pedal. And then nice circles in one direction, circles in the opposite direction, and down. So if you just did one side there, you're going to do the other side now. Otherwise, if you did both legs, you bring up both legs again and paddle, left, right, and circle in one direction, circle in the opposite direction, and back down again. Now, you've seen me, I've had you do this before where you're turning your feet outwards and turning your feet inwards. We're going to do it on the floor now. So you're going to rest your foot on the little toe side, the outside edge of the foot. So you're lifting up the inside edges of your feet. And then you're going to turn it the other way. So pressing the big toe side down and lifting the little toe side. So again, pressing the little toe side into the floor, lifting up the big toe side. And then turning the other way. Big toe side down, little toe side up. And back to center. Then I want you to lift up the heels so you're up on the balls of the feet, but check that you're using across the whole ball of the foot, not just the outside edges and lifting the toes. So you want to lift up the heels and keep the tops of the feet flat on the floor, and then bring the heels down and lift up the toes. And then lift up the heels. And notice when you do that, your pelvis might tilt a bit, so you sort of sit up a bit taller. And then you drop the heels down and you lift the toes up, and your pelvis tilts a little the other direction, so you feel like it's kind of tilting backwards. So that's why it's really important we keep the flexibility of the feet. Press the tops of the feet down, lift up the heels, heels down, lift up the toes. And then back to center. So this time, I'm going to get you to lift up the right leg. So the left foot is pressed into the floor. You're lifting up the right leg, and you're going to draw a little circle with that hip. Now, if you've had, like obviously, Mum, you've had the hips done. So if you're just lifting up the foot and bringing it back down, that's perfect. If you can do little circles, it just helps the mobility of the joint. But if there is any discomfort, don't do it at all. And then Dad, this is going to help you with your knees as well. Okay, so one direction, circles, and then opposite direction, circles, and down again. You feel it in the quads. And then the other side, lifting up the knee, little circle, it's all the way up into the hip joint, and then the opposite side. It's also strengthening the tummy muscles. You might feel it in your back as well. Change direction again. So you go a couple of circles in one direction, couple of circles in the opposite direction, and then back down. Is that okay? Perfect. Okay, so then bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open up a little. I want you to breathe in and lift up the arms in front of you. And then as you breathe out, lean forward as if you're kind of jumping forward, pressing the chest forward, and then fold over the knees. So bringing the arms by the sides or resting the hands on the knees and your gaze is down at the floor. And feel that nice broadness of the lower back. You can let your head and neck relax if you like, but if there's any risk that you feel that you're going to fall forward, then come back up or bring the hands onto the knees. You want to be sure that there's no risk at all of falling forward. This is just a fold forward. So then to come out of it, you're lifting the arms up in front of you again, looking at the hands, and then coming up into an upright position and hands down. That's it. Now this is a little bit of a toughie, so let me know how you get on. But can you bring in the hands across on the opposite knees? So this is going to really stretch the back. Breathing in, you lift up out of the pelvic bowl. Breathing out, you're hinging forwards. So you're looking down at the floor again, but your arms are crossed. Your knees are falling out to the sides. Your feet are on their sides, on the little toe sides, and you're looking down at the floor. So really try to soften the tummy muscles as you breathe out. And you might feel it into the bum muscles, into the hamstrings. Just relaxing it as you breathe out. And then to come out of it, lifting the head and chest, coming back upright. Notice which hand is on which knee, okay, which hand is in front. Because you're going to uncross and cross over the other way now. Okay? Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, folding forwards. So just looking down at your feet again. And really try to soften the muscles of the lower back and of the bum, of the tummy, to let you relax into the forward fold. And then lifting up the head and chest, coming back upright again, uncrossing the hands and just shaking them out and bringing the feet flat onto the floor again. Does that feel okay? Perfect. Okay. So this time you're going to breathe in, bring the arms up in front, but then I want you to bend the elbows and bring the elbows out to the sides. Palms of the hands facing forwards. Sorry, you're on top of each other there. Bit of space. There you go. Palms of the hands facing forwards, and then bringing them together in front, and then opening up. So connect it with the breath. Breathing in, you're opening up. Breathing out, you're bringing the hands together. And you can tip the chin to the chest as you close the arms forward. And then lifting the chin up when you breathe in and bring the arms out. And then breathing out, coming back in again, tipping the chin to the chest. And then bring the hands down. Lovely. Now we're going to do the anti-arthritic movement. So palms of the hands together. Remember, open the book. Bring the back of the hands together. Bring the fingers towards the heart, down towards the lap. away from you, and then into a butterfly, and back together again in prayer position. And open the book, bring the back of the hands together, fingers come pointing towards the heart, down towards your lap, up and away, and into a butterfly, hands together. One more time this way. Open the book, bring the back of the hands together, fingers towards your heart, down towards the lap, up and away into a butterfly, and closing the hands. And then we go the opposite direction. So open them up like a butterfly, the palms of the hands facing away. Bring the backs of the hands together, the fingers are pointing away. Fingers are pointing down to the lap, in towards the heart, up, and then open them up and close the book. 2 more times. Butterfly, palms are facing outwards. Backs of the hands together, fingers are pointing away. Fingers down, into the heart, up, open towards you, and close the hands in prayer position. And then the last time. Butterfly, backs of the hands together, fingers are pointing away. Fingers point down towards the heart, up, palms of the hands facing you, and then closing the hands. That's it. And then release out the wrists, shaking out the arms and the hands. Lovely. Close the fists and do big circles with the wrists. Really get into those joints. And then the opposite direction. Rest the hands down on the lap. Opening up the front of the chest again. Imagine that little thread that's gently pulling the crown of the head up towards the ceiling to help lengthen the upper body. And then imagine you've got a little string connected to from your left ear down to your left shoulder. And that string is about to shorten. So when you shorten that string, the left ear is just dropping down to the left shoulder. You have a nice opening on the right side of the neck. Connecting with the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And when so your ear is coming down towards the shoulder. And then when you're ready, next breath in, coming back up to center. This time we're going to bring the right ear down to the right shoulder. So bring that right ear down and lengthening the side of the neck. So you're not turning the head at all. You're basically just dipping the right side as if you were trying to bring that right ear towards the right shoulder. And then back up again. This time, tip the chin to the chest. And come back up to center. Look over your left shoulder. And back to center. Look over your right shoulder. And back to center. And this time look up at the ceiling. And back to center. And take your first 2 fingers and press your chin towards your neck. So what that does is it almost lifts the back of your head up. And it gives a nice stretch to the back of the neck. And then release. And we do that once more. Press the 2 fingers to the chin as if you're pressing the chin towards your throat. And then it elongates the back of the neck a little. And back out again. Letting that spring back to the normal position. Now, if you've got your feet on cushions, move them over to the side. And shimmy forward on the chair a little bit so that you can bring the weight forward. Breathing in, sweeping the arms out in front as if you were holding a beach ball. And then using that beach ball to help bring your upper body forward, to bring the weight over the feet and over the knees and come up to standing. Bring the arms back down by the sides again. Now we're going to turn, if you have the chair handy, we're going to turn the chair. So we'll just do a little bit into the lower back and the backs of the legs. So I think we did it last week as well. Hands on the backs of the chair, stepping back a little from the chair so your arms are quite straight. And just bending the knees, dropping the sitting bones, like as if there was a chair behind you. Just dropping the bum as if to sit down in a chair behind. So making sure when you look down at your knees, that your knees are not going over your feet, okay? So you're just bending the knees, but sticking your bum out further. Looking down at the floor. And then press the floor away, come back up into standing again. Bring the left foot forward. I want you to bend the right knee, sorry, the left knee. So left foot forward, bend the left knee, and then straighten it. Bending the left leg and straightening it. So make sure that the hips are square, so the hips are facing the back of the chair. Bend that front knee and straighten. And bring that left foot back. Then step the right foot forward. So again, check that the hips are square. Bending the right knee. So you kind of lean forward a little bit and then straighten it. And then bending that leg and straightening it. Once more, bending and straightening. And then step both feet back again, and we do the first one again. So you're looking down at the floor, your arms are pretty straight. Make sure that that chair won't move on you. And then bend the knees and press the hips out the back as if you were trying to lean down to sit on the chair behind you. So you're bending the knees, you're stretching the upper body forward using the chair, and your hips are coming down to sit on a chair. And then back up again. Stepping forward, holding the back of the chair. This time, turn the lower half of the body in one direction. So your hands stay on the back of the chair and you're turning the lower half of the body in one direction. If you feel that you can't turn the whole way, that it's too much of a strain on the back or anything, just turn to the point where you feel that's enough for me. Wherever that is absolutely fine. So you're just getting a nice little spinal twist, and then bring the gaze in the same direction as the back of the chair. So the upper half of the body is facing in one direction and the lower half is facing in a different direction. And then gently unwind again. So the lower half of the body comes back to face. And we do the other side. So hands are on the back of the chair. You're turning your feet the other way, however far you want to go. And you keep your gaze towards the back of the chair. So you get a nice little twist in the opposite direction. And remember to try to soften the muscles in the back, soften the muscles in the tummy to let that twist happen. If you're fighting it, it'll hurt, and we don't want any pain at all. We want to just bring a bit of flexibility in a nice spinal twist. You can even bend the knees a little bit, to help make sure that the tummy muscles and the back muscles are not trying to hold on too much. And then release the lower half, unwinding again back to the front. Step the feet back again, and one last time. Bending the knees, pressing the hips towards an imaginary chair behind you, lengthening the upper back. And imagine you've got somebody's pulling your hips backwards while the chair is pulling your hands forwards. So you're getting a really nice stretch of the whole spine. And then stepping back up. Walk into the back of the chair. Turn in the chair again. And we're going to come back into sitting on the chair the way that we got up. But make sure that there's no way it's going to tip, no way it's going to fall. So you stand in front of the chair, your feet are in parallel. Breathing in, lifting the arms forward. Start to drop the hips down. You're looking down at the floor. You bring the hands back to reach for the chair. Hover the bum over the seat. And then when you're ready, sitting down. And if that's too hard to do, so if you find that you're just dropping into the chair, just practice it a couple of times of lifting the arms out to the front, pressing the weight into the feet, lifting the hips up, and then bring the hands back to hold the seat and down with control. Okay, now get those cushions under the feet again if you're short, if you're not quite sitting comfortably. Lovely. we're just going to come into a couple of minutes relaxation. So bum to the back of the chair again. Shoulders are open, coming towards the back of the chair. Palms of the hands are resting on the lap. Closing over the eyes for a second. Nice big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth if you like, or else out through the nose as well. And just notice how the body's feeling now. It's nice and relaxed. Kind of just soften after the deep stretches and twists. Bring the hands together, rubbing the hands together. Notice the lovely softness of the hands. And place the hands at the top of the head. Checking in with how the head is feeling now at the end. And just giving thanks to your beautiful brain. Bringing your hands around to the front of the face, cupping your hands over the eyes. And being thankful for everything that we can see. Or everything that we can imagine. And bringing the hands down along the jawline. Noticing if it's soft here. If there is still any tension or any gripping, can you soften it? Being thankful for all the work our jaws do, either with talking or eating. Bringing the hands down onto the neck and throat. And this is an important place, the connection between the brain sending the messages down to the body, as well as where our nourishment is coming in. So notice your swallow. Notice throughout the day if you need a drink of water. Whatever you might need, if you feel like eating. And take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. This time, left hand on the tummy, right hand on the heart. And dip the chin towards the chest a little. Notice the breath as it comes into the body and as it leaves the body. So it's coming in, the body's expanding out. And if it's not, just being aware of it and seeing if you can help that along a little. Imagine the muscles on the inside are softening to allow the lungs to expand. And then breathing out, the lungs are just shrinking down in size and all the organs adjust to allow them to expand and contract. And then bringing the hands together on the lap, left hand sitting on top of right, thumbs touching, pressing them together, closing the eyes, just allow the shoulders to melt down away from the ears for a second. And I'll read you a little poem that I have here, one of my books. This is called Willing. Some days I wake up with enthusiasm, eager to greet the unknown day, suffused with gratitude for another chance to be alive and see what happens. Other days, days when the same sun shines and the new moon whispers of fresh beginnings, I wake up to a cold, dark lump in my belly. A nameless dread prompted me to go back to sleep. Either way, I follow an inhale and an exhale, and then I rise. Buoyed up or weighed down, I make a cup of hot tea and let a smile come with the first sweet sip. So taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Taking a minute to thank yourself for coming to join an online yoga, chair yoga class and persevering with the technology. And I appreciate you taking that time to be with me today. Gura Mila.